before I get started, let me tell you a little bit of my story. When I was in my Korean language course, we were studying about the environment, and our professor showed us a video about the plastic islands in the oceans. When I saw that video, I thought to myself, this is wrong. We definitely need to solve this. But how? I asked. That's when I realized my passion for the environment, and I started researching about pollution and carbon emissions. And now, I finally found a solution to this big problem, and I call it the golden question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kevin from Mozambique. I'm a mechanical engineering second year undergraduate here at Hanyang University. Today, I'm going to talk about climate change, how it was caused by the engineering design process of the past, its consequences, and how we can use the golden question to start solving it. Let's start. So, engineering design is what happens before any product is created. We need to follow these set of steps to have a really good product at the end. So we need to definitely follow these steps before the manufacturing process starts. And as you can see, there's no step related to the environment. Now, to understand how the engineering design process is related to climate change, we need to focus on 3 points. The first point is that the engineering design is responsible for us to have many carbon-dependent machines nowadays. And second point, if you compare the trends between these graphs, you have carbon emissions on the blue line at your left and the global temperature rise on your right. Here, by looking at this, we can say that our carbon-dependent machines ended up causing global warming. And the third and last point is that global warming caused climate change. Really simple, right? So we can conclude that because of the lack of consideration in the environment, for the environment, engineering design caused climate change. Now, according to the UN Climate Panel, IPCC, we have until 2030 to avoid catastrophic climate change. And catastrophic climate change will not only make natural disasters more common and more intense, but it will also destroy several crops of several communities, and it will wipe out thousands of species from Earth. And that might include us. Think about our future generations. What will they think about us if we do nothing about this? You know why I chose this topic? I'm terrified of climate change. This latest report of the IPCC totally made me rethink my priorities in life. Now, what we could see is that because of the lack of inclusion of the environment in the engineering design of the past, we caused climate change. What we should do is, before we create any new product, we should include the environment and ask the golden question. How will this affect the environment, and how can we make it in an eco-friendly manner? This is the golden question. And if we apply it to engineering, we can get answers such as using renewable energies for our power sources, or creating forests as carbon sinks, so to compensate for the carbon emissions that the company produces, and reducing energy consumption by making more efficient machines and buildings, and so on. The more we use these answers, the more they will become efficient and more practical. Now, we can apply the golden question in our daily lives as well by doing simple changes such as, instead of a plastic bag, using an eco bag, or buying products without packaging, or just reducing the usage of air conditioners and heaters. And we can also change our votes in the elections by choosing parties that have a plan to cope with the environmental issues. Now, we can do some slightly harder changes, such as becoming partially or fully vegetarian. We can also go zero waste or become a minimalist and participate in environmental NGOs as an activist, or we can invest in solar energy or other renewable energies in our houses. Now, Albert Einstein said that we cannot solve our problems with the thinking that we used when we created them. This means that we need to change consciousness. We are in a moment that we need a paradigm shift, a moment where all humans come together for the same cause and fight to solve it. So it's all up to a choice. The golden question is just a conceptual idea that reminds us of the environment. So it's all up to a choice, as I was saying, and we need to choose if we're going to stay in the comfort zone or if we're going to take action. It's all up to you. Now, I believe that you will make the right choice. So that is something that makes me really hopeful that we will have a sustainable world in the future. Thank you.